Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. It's Dave Chuno from Dealing with Meniere with Dave. I wanted to talk about something, not scams, but if you do have a YouTube channel or you're on YouTube and you make a comment on this or anything else, don't be surprised. There are people out there trying to scam you just like they are on Facebook. So we're not talking about that today. Excuse me while I have a drink of water. That feels good. Okay, so we're going to talk about invisible illness, chronic illness. We don't look sick. People with Meniere's, and that's what I'm primarily going to talk with, is Meniere's. We don't look sick. Do I look sick to you right now? Friday, Saturday, most of Sunday, I was sick. And, do I look sick today? No, I don't. So that's the thing is, we've got this debilitating chronic illness that can cause vertigo, and we can have triggers that can cause vertigo. Tinnitus can be off the wall. Our ears get full, and it can really knock the heck out of us, and our brains are compensating for everything we do. So people don't seem to understand that. You look good. Oh, thanks. I wish I felt that way. Yeah, hey, I look great right now, right? Now, if you now look at my eyes. If I go like that, that's how I feel on the inside. So people don't seem to get that. We don't always feel good, and every day is a new adventure for us. Really, it is, and it's like that with any chronic illness. You can feel good one day, or in our case, we can feel good now. It's my time. It's almost 12 o'clock, noontime. By 1:30, I could be on the floor, and the world is spinning. So that's how bad this disease can be, and people don't seem to get that, and that's okay. Not everybody's going to understand what goes on with us unless they really research it, or God forbid they get it themselves. And that was how I was with depression. I didn't know, my wife suffered from depression for years. I really didn't understand what she was going through in her mind or anything like that. I didn't understand it till I had a breakdown. And then I was like, once I, got out of that zone and I could start thinking again, I was like, wow, this is what my wife goes through. And I would ask her questions. Is this what happens to you? Is this what you go through? And she'd be like, yeah. So finally now I got a grip on what she goes through with depression. And I understand it a lot better than I used to. Not that I was bad, I didn't, or anything like that, or yell at her. I would help her and do whatever I could to help her. I just didn't know what was going on in here. And you know what? She really doesn't know what goes on in here with me. Not with my depression, but with Meniere's disease. But she was good enough, and most of my family was very good about researching it, asking me questions, trying to get a better understanding of what's going on with me. Now, I'm lucky. It doesn't happen with a lot of people. One of the best things I can actually tell somebody to do is try to get your partner, your spouse, to go to a couple of your ENT appointments or your otologist appointments, so they can get a better understanding of it. Have them join a Meniere's group that you're in, and they can learn from that. My wife did that. My brother did that, so they could get a better understanding of it. Have them go on this page, send them to my YouTube page, and they can get a better understanding of Meniere's disease and how it affects us. So, these are all things that you can do to try to help them. And I know not everybody's going to be lucky enough or fortunate enough to get somebody to do that, because I've been blessed in my life. I really have, with good people and good friends, that even to this day, if there's a function, they know probably 90% chance I'm not going to go. They still invite me every time. And once in a while, I surprise them. One time I said I wasn't going to go, and my friend's wife was actually called me, and I was in the parking lot of the place. And she's like, I'm sorry you can't come. You and Diane aren't coming. We really miss you guys, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, yeah, I know we can't, blah, 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 blah. And 5 minutes later, I walk into the place. I sit down next to her husband, and I just do one of these. And he looks at me. He's all happy. His wife's screaming because I just talked to you 2 minutes ago. I said, yeah, I was in the parking lot. So sometimes I do surprise them. And there was a friend there that I haven't seen in like 20 years, but she knew I talked to her on Facebook, and she knew I was sick. She knew I had Meniere's disease. And this woman looked up everything about Meniere's disease. And where my wife wasn't there, Diane wasn't there, and Diane has met her before. And she said, "Where's Diane? You usually don't go anywhere without her." I'm like, "She wasn't feeling good." So I decided I really needed to get out of the house, and I just went. And she goes, "Oh, I'm proud of you, but I'll watch you tonight, like Diane would." I said, "What do you mean, like Diane?" I kind of like, "What?" And she went, "I'll help you up the stairs if you need it. I'll get you a drink. I'll make sure you get to the bar, okay, all this stuff." And not that I drink, but I drink Diet Coke. And that's what she did. And she was watching me all night, making sure I was okay and I was safe. This is how I'm really, really lucky. She made sure I was safe. You know, made sure I got to the car okay, which I don't know why she did that. I was fine getting to the car, but that's okay. And then made me call her when I got home, and I did, because she was worried and she knew everything could happen, what could happen, and she was very, very concerned, and that made me feel good, because that's a friend of mine I haven't talked to now 15 years. I haven't seen her in 15 years. We talk on Facebook, and she went through all this stuff, because we had a long conversation about Meniere's disease. And she went through all these things about Meniere's disease that she looked up on her own. And I just was like, awesome. I'm blessed. So I am blessed with that. So, one of the things you can tell people is, just because I look good doesn't mean I do feel good, because it doesn't always happen that way. And it's like that with any chronic illness. Believe me, mental illness, it's the same thing. People will say to me, "Oh, your wife doesn't look like she's depressed." Well, most depressed people put on a mask, kind of like what we do. Fake it till we make it sometimes. Put a mask on. Yeah, everything's hunky-dory, ha 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 ha. And then deep down inside, they're like, "I just want to be home under my blanket, be by myself." That's how mental illness can be. And it's the same with us. How many times have I gone out with my wife not feeling good, weddings, whatever, I don't feel good, the room's spinning, but got a smile on my face, twinkle in my eye, and I'm doing the best I can to function. Until finally I say to my wife, "I've had enough, we need to go." But yeah, so you gotta, don't get upset about people who don't understand what you're going through, because you gotta understand things from their perspective. From what they see, you look fine, okay? And so you gotta understand both sides. So don't get upset every time somebody says, "Well, you look good," because technically, they're right. You look good. They don't understand. They think somebody who's sick or disabled, and I've had people say this to me, "Well, if you're disabled, why aren't you in a wheelchair?" What? Not everybody who's disabled is in a wheelchair. Well, if you're disabled, how come you can drive? Well, not everybody who's disabled can't drive. I can't drive long distance, but I can drive to the store. I can drive around town. And if I really feel good, I might be able to go take a ride to take my grandkids a half hour away. But it doesn't mean I can't drive. It doesn't mean I can't live. There's just going to be days I just can't do anything. And I know when those days are. Okay? I've had this disease long enough that I know when I can't drive. So, these are the questions and the things you get on a daily basis. Just try not to get upset about it. Because when you get upset causes stress. Stress can trigger vertigo, tinnitus, and all kinds of other fun stuff. So, well, not really fun, but you know what I mean. So please don't try to get upset about, chronic illness, having, an invisible illness, having Meniere's, okay? You just have to learn to deal with it, and it's the way it is. And people aren't always going to understand. And especially the way this world is today, nobody understands anything. Nobody wants to understand anything. They just want their way, their point, and they want you to agree with them, and that's it. And they don't care. That's the problem with the world today. So don't get upset. You got better days coming. And, really, if somebody really, truly, point blank, does not want to understand what you're going through, doesn't care what you're going through, thinks you should be able to do everything and anything, do yourself a favor. And this is, my friend Gina taught me this a long time ago. Put them at arm's length. Sorry, but you know what? I don't need you in my life if you're not even going to try to understand. Don't get upset. Don't get mad. Just distance yourself because you don't need it. All right. Like I said, stress is a trigger. It's a trigger for me. So just put them at arm's length. My friend Gina taught me that a long time ago, and perfect. So, but don't get upset when people don't understand or stuff like that. Please don't, because not everybody's going to understand, and not everybody's going to want to understand. And that includes, you know, family members too. And it's sad, but, you know, like I said, drag them to an appointment, you know, ask them to join one of the support groups, ask them to look at my videos on here, do all that stuff. So until the next time I make a video, have a great day, have spin-free time, and enjoy yourselves and take care, okay? Enjoy the good days too. When you feel good, enjoy them, okay? Feel blessed, because you are if you're having a good day. So on that note, take care, everybody.